Welcome to the Fibromyalgia Podcast. I'm Tammy Stacklehouse, fibromyalgia coach, author, and founder of the International Fibromyalgia Coaching Institute. The goal of this podcast is to empower you with access to the dream team of experts and coaches I've discovered are key to living the fibro life you love. From the comfort of your own home, and maybe even your pajamas, I'll help you take back control of your life and health. To help out with fibro fog, I always include full show notes and additional resources at fibromyalgiapodcast.com. Welcome to the Fibromyalgia Podcast. I'm your coach, Tammy Stacklehouse, and this is episode 4 of our updated Be a Coach series, where I answer questions about our Certified Fibromyalgia Advisor and Certified Fibromyalgia Coach training programs. Now, I want to remind you that this special series really is designed for those who are curious about those training programs or about becoming a coach. So if that's not you, please just go ahead and skip this episode and we'll catch you back here next time. For those of you who are interested, I'll give you a quick recap. Our first episode of the special series covered what a Certified Fibromyalgia Advisor and a Certified Fibromyalgia Coach are and the differences between the two. In episode 2, we talked about who makes a good Certified Fibromyalgia Coach and who is better suited to be a Certified Fibromyalgia Advisor. I also talked about what you need and what you don't need to become one. Episode 3 was all about why. Why does the world need fibro coaches? And why should you consider becoming a Certified Fibromyalgia Coach? Today, I'm digging into the nuts and bolts of how. How can you become a Certified Fibromyalgia Coach or Advisor? You know, years ago, before I started teaching these classes, I used to get email all the time from people asking how I became a fibromyalgia coach. They had never heard of such a thing and were curious. 15 years ago, when I started coaching, many of them weren't even familiar with the idea of a life coach or a health coach. And in every email, they would ask, how did I do it? What training did I take? How did I learn to become a fibromyalgia coach? But what they really wanted to know was how they could do it too. And maybe you can relate. If you're still listening, if you haven't skipped this episode, there's at least a part of you that's curious. So if you're one of those bottom line kind of people, I want to pause here really quick. I can distill it down to 2 things for you. To become a fibromyalgia coach, you have to know fibromyalgia and you have to know how to coach. Pretty basic, right? But as you might imagine, there is also a little more to it, right? So for one thing, being a certified fibromyalgia coach, those 3 words, Certified Fibromyalgia Coach, that means you were trained at the International Fibromyalgia Coaching Institute in my systems and my processes. And we'll get to that in a little bit more. Now, essentially, that is what I did. I learned absolutely everything I could about fibromyalgia, and I honestly became an expert in the management and the treatment of fibromyalgia. Over the last 20 years, I've used what I learned on myself and gradually reduced my pain and my fatigue to the point where my own fibromyalgia has been in remission for many years now. I also learned how to be a great coach and help my clients have real life-changing results. As a coach, I was able to duplicate with others what I had done in my own life. It's not enough to just know a lot about fibromyalgia, and it's not enough to be able to manage your own fibromyalgia. To call yourself a coach, you have to be able to help others do the same thing too. Now, along the way, I created a whole new kind of practice, a whole new modality, and that is what I use with my clients and what I teach in my classes. In 2015, after I published my first book, I founded the International Fibromyalgia Coaching Institute, and I created the world's first coach training institute that was focused entirely on fibromyalgia. That's also when I started teaching my first fibromyalgia coach and fibromyalgia advisor classes back in the fall of 2015. Today, we have got graduates all over the world who are using my processes to help themselves and others feel better. Where I had to create everything from scratch and to figure out what works and what doesn't, you've got a lot of things easier. Absolutely. You could go out and learn all of this on your own, like I did. You could go out and create your own systems, create your own type of coaching, your own modality. And to be completely honest, the information I'm teaching here is not a secret, right? I mean, I've read the studies that you can go read. I've read the articles, the books, learned from people that you can go learn from. Even the things that I have created myself, I share in my books and I share on this podcast. At the same time, to be totally transparent, that term, Certified Fibromyalgia Coach, is actually a registered trademark of the International Fibromyalgia Coaching Institute, registered with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. But anybody could call themselves a fibromyalgia coach. But do you really want to take all that time? Do you want to do all that reading and research and trial and error to see what really works? Do you want to take another 20, 15 years? Do you want to create everything from scratch? Do you want to do it all on your own? Or do you want to learn a proven method and a framework that can get results for you and for your clients? Do you want to build on top of my many, many years of experience, or do you want to start at the ground level and create your own? The first step to becoming a certified fibromyalgia coach is our Certified Fibromyalgia Advisor training program. Remember when I said you needed two things, to know fibromyalgia and to know how to coach? The advisor program is the fibro piece of things. This is a 3-month class that teaches you all of the fibro basics. We talk about how you can treat fibromyalgia pain, how you can improve your sleep, increase and manage your energy, clear the brain fog. We talk about alternative therapies, medications, nutrition, exercise, hormones. Honestly, I teach you everything I can in 3 months. And please know, these classes, they are designed for fibro people by fibro people. I know that fibro bodies do not always perform on schedule, especially a schedule somebody else has set, right? So our class is flexible. There is a set beginning when we all start together and a set ending with a deadline that everything has to be done in order for you to participate in graduation. But between those two dates, everything is flexible. I even have a leave of absence clause built right into our program agreement for those who need it. I've also built the class with several catch-up weeks. I will teach new lessons for 3 weeks, and then we have a week with no new lessons so that you can catch up and integrate what you've learned. I teach the lessons live over Zoom, frankly, because it's way more fun for me to teach them live than have you just watch videos. It's also better for you. You learn more when we're having a conversation than when I'm just pouring words on you, right? Of course, I love interacting with my students. And so I keep those classes small so that we can do that. At the same time, I also record all of those lectures and make them available in our online classroom and through a private class podcast feed that is available only to students. So that means you can listen to those lectures again and again. If you're feeling foggy or you just need more time to absorb the information, you can listen over and over again. Those lectures are available in both audio and video, as well as a raw transcript. So no matter how you learn, if you're a visual, auditory learner or an experiential learner, we've got it all. For our online classroom, we use a platform called Canvas. This is the same platform that many schools use. In fact, if you have kids, they may have used this while they were home doing school from home during COVID. Canvas is where you will turn in your homework assignments, take your quizzes, and access the materials for each module. And speaking of homework and quizzes, I know hearing those two words might sound a little scary, especially if it's been a while since you've done any kind of school, and especially if you are feeling extra foggy. And I promise you, homework and quizzes are not scary in this class. All of our lessons, all of our quizzes, they are all open book, and you can take all the time you need to complete them. Remember, I know fibro bodies and brains. Our homework assignments are all designed to help you implement what you're learning in class. So, for example, in the module where you're learning about your thyroid, one of your class assignments is to get your own thyroid labs done. You'll then learn how to read those thyroid labs by using your own labs. When we talk about sleep, you'll analyze your own sleep. And so you are going to be your first client, so to speak. You are using yourself to learn. And as you're learning and doing your assignments, you will also have your very own Certified Fibromyalgia Coach to help you. That's right. The advisor class includes one-on-one coaching with your own coach for a full 6 months. Your coach is there to help you implement everything that you're learning in class and to help you with all those things that are going to come up in your normal life. For example, if you're struggling with sleep, but that module isn't coming up for a few more weeks, your coach can help you with that now. And of course, you also have me in class every week, right? All of our courses are 100% online, and they are all accessible anywhere in the world. You might be able to attend those lectures live, but let's be honest, we are never going to be able to pick a time that is going to work for everyone everywhere in the world every single week. So if your time zone doesn't match up with when I'm teaching live, that is perfectly fine. The course is designed to be able to be done completely virtually through the recordings. Is it better if you can be there live? Of course it is, right? You can ask questions. You can interact with me and your classmates better if you are there, but you can 100% still complete the class and get amazing results even from the recordings. One of the most important aspects of taking our advisor class as the first step to becoming a coach is that you have to be well enough to effectively help others. You cannot, I repeat, cannot sacrifice your own health to have a business helping others get well. It just does not work. I have seen way too many advocates and business owners, particularly in the fibromyalgia community, burn out because they put others' needs above their own. It does not work. And so the advisor class is designed to help you learn so that you can help others. And I'm sure you get that part. But more importantly, it's designed to help you get better so that you can help others. Students who graduate from our advisor program, on average, are able to reduce their fibromyalgia symptoms by about 50% in just 3 months. Graduates of our coach program are often nearly symptom-free, improving an average of 75%. So, how much better would you feel if your symptoms were cut in half or 75% less? Wouldn't it be a whole lot easier to help others? I think so. And once we get you feeling better and teach you the fibro knowledge you need to know, you can then move on to our Certified Fibromyalgia Coach training program. And by the way, I just want to pause for a second and say that not everyone needs the coach class. If you're not sure if you do or not, then I would recommend going back and checking out episode 2 of this special series where I talk about the differences, who makes a good coach, and who is better suited to be a certified fibromyalgia advisor. Our Certified Fibromyalgia Coach program is 18 months on its own on top of the advisor class. And in this program, this is where you learn that second piece, how to coach people and get them real life changing results. It's this second part of the program, the coach program, where I actually teach you my systems and processes and frameworks and how you can use those to help others. Now, there are a few goals to the coach program. The advisor class, the goal is to teach you that fibro knowledge and to get you feeling better. In the coach class, you're going to learn all those business basics. What business tools do you actually need? How should you handle different policies and procedures? What's the scope of practice for a certified fibromyalgia coach? And what things do you need to leave to the medical and mental health professionals? How do you even do a coaching call or a consultation, right? You'll learn all of this and more in the first couple of months that you're in the coach program. And once you've learned those basics, then you move on to the second goal, which is learning how to coach by coaching real people with their fibromyalgia. To graduate as a certified fibromyalgia coach, you need to complete a minimum of 100 sessions coaching real fibromyalgia patients using my framework. And up to 50 of these hours can be done pro bono for free, but the rest must be paid, which means you are getting paid as you learn, as you practice your coaching. My personal goal is for all of my students to earn back what they pay in tuition through their coaching sessions by the time they graduate. And many of our students have been able to do this. As you begin to work with clients, you'll be doing your own consultations, you'll be making your own sales, setting your own rates, and holding your own coaching sessions. Of course, all with my help. I'm there for you as your safety net. And every week you meet with me and the other coaches in training to talk through your client situations. This is kind of like grand rounds in the medical world, right? We talk through your client situations. Did a client ask you a question you don't know the answer to? We talk about that. Did you have a client not show up or not pay on time? We talk about how to handle that. Are you doing everything you know how to do, but your client still isn't improving? How do you turn a lead into a client? And then how do you turn that client into a long-term client? These are all some of the things that I'll help you with during our weekly group coaching calls. The third goal of the coaching class, so remember, the first one is all those business basics. The second is learning how to be a good coach. And the third goal of the coach class is to help you discover how to keep your body happy while you build a business. And this is really key because all too often it's really just assumed that a startup business is going to take you 60 to 80 hours a week of work if you want that business to be successful. And a fibro body just cannot do that. Like that is not an option. So how do you build a business keeping your body happy if you've got a fibro body? And as you go through our coach program, you'll create what I call your energetic business plan. We'll talk about how many coaching calls you can do in a day. How many can you do in a week? How much time do you need between your coaching sessions to reset and to recover? How much time do you need for administrative tasks a week? How much time do you need for rest or other activities that actually keep you feeling your best? Things like meditation, exercise, naps, cuddling with the cat. These can all be part of your energetic business plan and need to be, because we're planning how you will spend and re-energize yourself, how you spend your energy, how you re-energize yourself. And that is how you will need to be to run your business. So over the 18 months that we're together, you'll learn how to balance your growing business with your health. You'll learn what helps you feel better and what makes you feel worse. And it is very, very common for my students to take too many clients at first, right? They are so excited. They want to help so many people. And then whoops, that was one or two too many. And honestly, it's much better to figure that out with the support of someone, me, who's done this for years and years, and the support of other students who are learning the same thing, than to have that happen and try to figure out how to do it on your own. I think this is one of the reasons why so many people who try it on their own end up not lasting, right? They might be able to do it for a year or two, but eventually they close their businesses because they just can't find that balance. Now, once you have completed your 100 coaching sessions, you'll submit recordings of some of your coaching calls as your practical exam. You're graded on your sessions, and if all goes as it should, you'll graduate as a Certified Fibromyalgia Coach, which makes you eligible to be part of our referral program and be listed on our Find a Fibro Coach page. As a graduate, you'll also join our Alumni Association for weekly group coaching calls. We've got monthly continuing education classes and a private support group for graduates only. I also offer alumni retreats where we can dig deeper into various topics and even get some hot tub time and conversations in our pajamas when we have our in-person retreats. It's fabulous. So at this point, I'm sure you're thinking and feeling lots of things. There are probably a few voices in your head, not those kinds of voices, but those little whispers, right? Some of those voices might be saying things like, you should do that. You'd be a really great coach. Everybody always comes to you for advice. Or maybe those voices are saying things like, I don't know. You might not be able to do that with your fibro. What if you get a flare? So if you're hearing those voices, I want to pass on a bit of advice that one of our guest instructors gave at a recent alumni retreat. He said, it's important to recognize the difference between fear and intuition. The voice of fear tells us what not to do. Intuition tells us what to do. And remember, fear is simply a signal that you're going outside your comfort zone. Here's what that means for you. If you are listening to this and you're feeling that intuition that says, I think I'm supposed to do this, I'd be a really great coach. That is your intuition. You should trust that. Your intuition will never lead you wrong. If you're listening to this episode and you hear a voice that says, I don't know, I don't think you should, you're not well enough, what if you have a flare? That's your brain giving you the signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, right? It's telling you what not to do. That's fear. And that is you stepping outside your comfort zone. It is your brain's job to keep you safe. And there is something about this that feels scary for you. If that's you, it is worth taking a look at exactly what feels scary. If it feels scary just because it's unknown, how can you prepare for it or be supported through it? A next great step for you might be attending our next virtual open house where we go over a lot more details. You'll also get to experience what it's like being on a Zoom call with me because it's exactly like teaching a class. When somebody starts our advisor class, they often feel scared when they think about working one-on-one with clients. And if you think about it, that's the way it should be, right? Of course it's scary. You haven't done it yet, and you haven't learned how to do it yet, right? The training is designed to help you become ready. Maybe it's scary for you to think about showing up on time for a class that you've committed to. Maybe the thought of becoming an expert is scary. Maybe it was the part where I talked about selling things and setting your rates and actually asking people for money. Remember, you will learn all of those things as you go through your training. You'll practice them. You'll have my support. You'll have the support of the rest of the class, and you will get more confident and comfortable doing it. You know, a surgeon does not start cutting into people on their first day as a freshman in college, not even their first day of medical school, right? It's their training that helps them become ready. My sister used to tease me all the time. I remember I was going to this dance class with her, and she was a dancer, so that was part of it. It made me feel a little bit intimidated because she picked up steps super quick. But I was going to a swing dancing class I'd never been to, and I was all nervous and worried about it. And it sounds so funny to say now, but I wanted to know how to do the dance before I got to the class that taught me how to do the dance. And that is what my sister pointed out to me. She's like, you want to know how to do it before you go to the class that teaches you how to do it. Like, that's backwards. And maybe that's how you're feeling too. You want to know how to do it before you take the class that shows you how to do it. The other thing that might be going through your head, people always talk about the fear of failure, but if you're like me, it's actually the fear of success. When I was deciding if I wanted to be a coach, honestly, the thing that I kept thinking was, hey, I can do anything one time. But if I become a coach and I've got clients who have paid me, I have to show up for them each week, not just once. Am I well enough? Can I do this repeatedly and sustainably? Can I show up every week? And, if that's you, if you are feeling that fear of success, I want you to know this is great news, right? The reason that is great news is because I have designed this entire course to take you from where you are right now to where you can do this repeatedly and sustainably. I'm going to teach you the skills that you need, and I'm going to help you improve your own health so that you feel better. So we're taking it from both sides. We're helping you feel better, and we're teaching you how to do it in a fibro-friendly way. And by the way, I also want to say, if you are listening to this and you don't have any of that intuition that says, I think I'm supposed to do this, and you don't have any fear, in fact, maybe you don't feel anything at all, maybe you're just listening and going, that's interesting, then guess what? You're probably not supposed to do this, especially not at this time. I want you to know I am not here to convince you. I am not here to sell you. If this is not for you, please, please honor that. Working with the fibromyalgia community, it is not easy. And it is most definitely not a get-rich-quick anything. It is hard work. And more than hard body work, it is hard heart work. It is hard emotionally working with this community. Working as a certified fibromyalgia coach, honestly, it needs to be something that you are called to do. And trust me, you will know if you are. And that's what I'm here for today, to explain those steps for the people who are being called and the ones that need to know how to go about it. So, what are your next steps? The first step is to go to beafibrocoach.com. That's the word B-E-A, fibrocoach.com. And on that page, you're going to find a lot more information about our class options. If you scroll down the page, you'll find a comparison chart that shows two separate paths. The Certified Fibromyalgia Advisor path contains just the fibro part. This is perfect for you if you just want to feel better. It's also perfect if you're a practitioner who wants more fibro knowledge to be able to help your patients and clients but you don't really want to work as a coach. In the advisor class, I teach you everything I can about fibromyalgia in 3 months. And you'll have 6 months of coaching to help you apply that info to your own life. You could kind of think of this as your bachelor's degree. It's the first step. The second path that you see is the Certified Fibromyalgia Coach path. You can think of this like earning your doctorate. The coach path includes the 3-month advisor class plus the 18-month coach class. In addition, you'll have 6 months of one-on-one coaching with your own coach, just like in the advisor class. If you know you want to be a certified fibromyalgia coach, you can enroll in the full coach program at a special tuition rate. It's a big commitment to make, and we honor that by giving you a special rate. If you're not sure if you want or even need the coach class, if you're not comfortable making that big of a commitment, or if you just want to take things in smaller steps, just start with the advisor class, or even start just by working with a coach privately. As you begin to feel better and as you learn more, it will become clear if you should take one of our classes or not. So working with a coach is a great place to start. Then, when you're ready to apply, or if you want to schedule an admissions session to learn more, then just click the Apply Now button on that Be a Fibro Coach page, and there will be an application for you to fill out. That tells me more about you and your situation, and once you submit that application, you can pay your tuition deposit and schedule time to meet with me. I wish I could talk with everyone without you paying a deposit. Unfortunately, there just is not enough time for me to do that. Remember, 513 million fibromyalgia patients in the world and only one me. The deposit is there so I can focus my time on the people who are ready right now. Now, during that call, as you talk with me, we'll go over your application. We'll talk about what your needs are, what your goals are, what you want to do after you finish the class, because I always want to make sure that it's a good fit for the students who join our classes. If our programs are not the right fit, and honestly, sometimes it isn't, I refund your deposit and refer you to whatever option I feel is better for you. If you and I agree that this is the right fit, we apply your deposit towards your tuition and get you enrolled. We will match you to a coach, send you your materials, and get you started. If you have already hired a coach, you might be eligible for a discount off your tuition because you may not need that coaching that's included in tuition on top of what you already have. That's something we can talk about as well. And if these steps feel too big, and if you just want to learn more before you apply, then there's 2 things I would recommend. Number 1, sign up for our free Stories of Hope podcast series. This special series contains all the interviews I've done with my students, graduates, and clients, sharing their experiences in the class. If you want to sign up for that, just go to the show notes right now in the app you're using to listen to this episode, and in those show notes, you'll find a link to sign up for the Stories of Hope series. Once you've signed up, all of our interviews will be sent to you, including any new interviews in the future. The other thing that I would recommend doing is joining our next virtual open house. Or if you're listening to this after we've held our open house, you can always check out the video replay. In the virtual open house, I talk a lot more about the specifics of how the class works, what the tools are that we use, and I answer the 6 questions everybody always wants to know. It'll give you a good feel for what it would really be like to be in class with me. Again, just look in today's show notes. We'll have that link to where you can either sign up to join our next virtual open house or watch the replay. Now, if you are consider joining us for our next class, please don't wait too long. It really does begin soon. I am actually enrolling students now. And remember, if you have signed up for this special Be a Coach series, if you're just listening to this as part of the Fibromyalgia podcast, you won't get this. But if you sign up for the special Be a Coach series, we will send you a bonus episode that contains specific dates and details for our next class. Remember, it's estimated that 513 million people in the world have fibromyalgia. We need a lot more coaches if we're going to help them all. Just imagine, if I had 1 million coaches, that's still 513 clients apiece. I still could not do that. So please consider joining us. And if you feel that voice of intuition saying, hey, you should do this, you'd be good at this, or you feel that voice of fear that says, uh-oh, that might be going outside my comfort zone, explore that and see if maybe this just might be the right time for you. You can apply to join us again at beafibrocoach.com. See you back here next time. And that wraps up another episode of the Fibromyalgia Podcast. I'm your coach, Tammy Stacklehouse. For daily doses of hope, inspiration, and practical advice, come hang out with me on Facebook. Visit facebook.com/fibrocoach to find my personal coaching page and connect with me directly. To find the show notes, additional resources, or to schedule a consultation with me or one of my coaches, visit fibromyalgiapodcast.com.